Hey guys, welcome to, I don't know, I'm working on prototype names and I'm thinking of gaming and gabbing. I was thinking of Power Wash Podcast, but I'm going to eventually be done with Power Wash Simulator one day. But anyway, I'm here with one of my best friends, Ian. Say
Hi, Danny.
Yay! So we're just shooting the shit for 2 hours. I have my mod in and out of chat as she, just kind of unwinds. And I have my good friend Miri and her girlfriend Kazi. And we're freaking out now collectively because Ian just dropped the bomb on us that they actually brought Legends of the Hidden Temple. Kazi, you're going to get scared by Olmec? I'm going to get scared by the temple guards. Are you kidding me?
The temple guards in the new series are actually like even scarier than the ones before. It's pretty awesome.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, I'm not kidding. They did a really nice job with the guards in the temple. Like the whole thing is a little bit is even creepier than they did before. They really stepped it up.
Oh my god, I cannot. Why? They were so scary before.
They had to up the ante a little bit because the contestants are all adults now.
Oh, really? It's not aimed at kids.
Not really. I mean, it's still family friendly, but it's aimed for like a more general audience and not just a Nickelodeon Kids vibe anymore. They also moved the location to outdoor areas.
Oh,
yeah. So it's like more of a authentic, lost temple ruin, jungle kind of vibe.
that's awesome. Oh, okay. Kazi says I have a phobia of giant faces. Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
From Olmec?
Yeah, Olmec would be terrifying then. Olmec would absolutely be terrifying if you have a phobia of giant faces.
I'm pretty sure the guy who voices Olmec, I forget his name, but they brought him back to reprise the role. That's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it's the same Olmec.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. Yeah, I know for like Spirit Week in my high school, like it was freshmen and juniors were blue and they had to like do a theme with that, and then sophomores and seniors were red. So for our junior year we were the Blue Barracudas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We got like custom t-shirts and everything. Of course that stuff doesn't fit me anymore, but it was really fun. That was like my favorite. Although for my senior year we were like the Spartans from 300. I don't know how that exactly tied into red, except for the fact that Gerard Butler wore a red cape for the movie, I guess. So,
do what you can, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they went all out though. They made like a fake Trojan horse and everything to come like running out of.
Oh wow, they went all out
on the football field. Yeah, and it was like 30-degree weather, and they ran out like just wrapped in like red bed sheets as togas and nothing else, like with fake spears and shit. It was pretty fun to watch.
Those high school athletes always showing off.
It was pretty awesome, though.
I wonder if it's like one of those universal things where, because when you describe the color, the colors for all the different classes, juniors and such,
yeah,
that all sounds very familiar. So I wonder if it's just a traditional thing across the board, or it's just coincidence.
I don't know. Oh my gosh, yeah, I actually have someone from high school in chat. Yeah, hey Mary. No, your toga was fabric from Joanne. Mine was definitely a bed sheet. Yeah, oh god damn it. I always forget the controls of this game. One of my classmates from high school is in here. What's up?
Describing Legends as Ninja Warrior for kids, though. Yeah, I guess that's a fair enough description.
That's a pretty apt statement, I think.
Mm.
There we go. That's how I switch the nozzles. It's like okay, there we go.
I mean, the challenges are not really that physically demanding, even for like the age group. It was kind of more of the about the recreating the sense of adventure you get from action movies like Indiana Jones and things like that.
Which I still haven't seen. Oops.
What do you mean?
I still haven't seen Indiana Jones.
Any of them?
None of them, my dude. I have
None
them on
my...
None of them. I've had them on my watch list on Amazon forever. I haven't seen any of them. I know the theme songs. That's it.
Okay, so you haven't completely escaped them. You just haven't actually watched the series themselves. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not like due to avoidance or anything. Actually, it's just like with Star Wars, I just happened to see it because my parents were interested in watching it when I was
Okay.
growing up. So it was like they were like, okay, yeah, let's get Star Wars from Blockbuster, and I guess they'd already seen Indy or like something like that. So they were like, well, okay, but we haven't seen Star Wars, or like my dad wanted to like rewatch it or something. I was very little. And then they would watch it with me and then without me because I remember hearing Darth Vader through my through the vents, like through the air conditioning vents, when they were like watching it without me screaming at the trash compacting scene.
Oh gosh, that's a scary. That's good.
It's a small child.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that's like all I remember of like watching those as a kid. And then when I was young, that was like when episode 1 and stuff came out and I didn't hate it. And so growing up, I didn't understand why everybody else hated it. And then you and I have talked about this. We think it's just nostalgia goggles, honestly, on a lot of people. Like, do parts of episode 1 suck? Yeah, absolutely. But like, it's got Duel of the Fates. So it's got Darth Maul and Duel of the Fates. So invalid.
Even if you don't like the movie, there are things to like about it. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. Absolutely. 100%. I don't think you should write off an entire movie for putting on nostalgia glasses and nostalgia goggles. And like,
I was
oh, go ahead.
I was an avid reader of choose your own adventure books and the many spin-offs and movie tie-ins they made for it. The Goosebumps had its own choose your own adventure spin-off series, which was really cool. And they actually made one for Star Wars where you were a part of the story and you were Luke Skywalker's best friend who followed him along on all of his adventures.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like recreating all the events of all the movies. But if you made certain decisions, you can actually alter the events of the movies to be drastically different than how you remember them. The first time I read through the A New Hope Choose Your Own Star Wars Adventure, I pretty much just went along with how the story, played out in the movies, just because I knew that would be the correct answers to everything.
Right.
But there are also other correct answers, and there are also some very wrong answers. And there is actually it is possible to completely botch the escape from the trash compactor, and it is horrifying the way they describe it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Oh yeah. Okay. Mary's saying Coruscant is a beautiful city. Mary's agreeing Coruscant is beautiful. Yes. Coruscant is a gorgeous city.
And if you
In
make the wrong
Star Wars.
decision at the trash compactor, it is the end right there.
Oh god, that is terrifying.
Mhm.
Animorphs had choose your own adventures because I wasn't into. It's not that I didn't dislike Goosebumps because I remember reading a couple. There was one I remember in particular. I didn't read any with Slappy, so it was funny because when everyone was watching the like when I was watching the Goosebumps movie and like an online it was the website Rabbit before that went completely under. When we were watching that on Netflix with like a couple other friends, Katie was in there. And then a couple other friends. Like when Slappy showed up, everyone else went, "This motherfucking puppet," and I was just like, "What?" I was like, "It's a ventriloquist dummy, like whatever." And then like Slappy started being Slappy, and I was like, "Oh, this is terrible." Yeah, Katie says, "Love me some Goosebumps." Yeah, I read Animorphs instead. It wasn't that I didn't. It wasn't that I disliked Goosebumps. I was just drawn more to Animorphs. And they had a choose your own adventure, which was really fun. But yeah, the one Goosebumps book I remember is like the one with the Polaroid picture that took your that took a photo. Like this girl like took a photo or something like that, and it showed her friend with a nail through her foot. Or,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, and then they were like trying to run away from the junkyard they were in, and that it happened. And so I'm just like like. I remember that so vividly. And then there was another one with like some kind of weird egg thing. And like they took it to like this guy's house because they thought that they could trust him, and it turns out like he locked them in the room with the egg and they became part of the experiment, and like that's how the book ended. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
If you were the right age and you read the book at the right time in children's literature history, Slappy left an impact on you. He was memorable, and
Oh,
he haunted many kids, I assure you.
Oh my god, Miri can name both of the ones that I read. I don't even remember. Say Cheese and Die and Egg Monsters from Mars. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm sure
There
Katie's
you go.
freaking out because Katie loved Goosebumps too. So the fact that she may have known the names of them, I don't know. But the fact that Miri can name them, I think Miri just got cooler in Katie's eyes. Holy crap, Miri, what the hell? Yeah, I was definitely an Animorphs fan. I mean, you were watching my my To the Moon playthrough and how I started getting like really persnickety when they didn't get the morph right for one of the characters. I don't know if you heard that part, but it was like, you know, like what was the morph for, you know, like the character David, and I was like, oh, he was a snake, like he was a cobra. And they were like, no, that's wrong. And I'm like, what do you mean that's wrong? I know that's right. I know my Animorphs. I went and looked it up. It was just that the game makers got it wrong. And I was very pissy about it for the rest of the episode.
They should have hired you.
Oh, man. Well, I don't, like, they're still making games, which good for them. But, like, I don't know. Maybe it was like a... I don't know what was up with that, but like people in the Steam forums were getting salty about it too. They were like, "Come on, man," because it was meant to solve a puzzle. So I mean, you needed to solve the dang puzzle, and you know, I was putting in the right answer, and I was getting increasingly frustrated. And I mean, to be fair, it's, you know, it's a dude making a game, and that's not the point of the game. But on the other hand, I love Animorphs, damn it.
Well, anyway, if I'm always down to rewatch the Indiana Jones movies for like the 200th time. So if you like to be present for the 201st time, uh,
I will let you know. Yeah.
please do.
whenever we see each other again, because it's been since last summer.
You know that excited glee you get when you show a friend one of your favorite movies or shows for the first time, and you know like the best parts are coming up, and you want to see their reactions, you know. And you're so excited. Yeah, you're just so excited to see those reactions. Gosh, if we do Indiana Jones, that's going to happen like literally 100 times through the whole series.
Me all the time whenever I show anybody anything that I like. I'm just like, when I was like playing through Mass Effect on stream, I was just sitting there quietly, just like he, like especially through Mass Effect 3, like especially knowing who Katie's favorite characters were. I was like, oh man, I know who canonically has to die and who doesn't. And I'm not saying who because I know one of my friends in chat has not actually finished Mass Effect, so I'm not saying anything. And just to be nice, I'm not saying anything. But, yeah, it's, I do that all the time with, like, literally everything.
It would be nice timing, too, because Indiana Jones Part 5, I believe they're aiming to get out the door sometime next year.
They're doing another one even after how badly Crystal Skull bombed? Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That movie didn't bomb. It actually made a lot of money. A lot of people didn't like it, but you know, they you know, Disney ended up buying the series, and then they decided to make one more feature film to serve as the well, they claim it's going to be the finale to the franchise. Indy's last hurrah. Maybe they wanted to kind of end the series on a better note. I mean, I personally really enjoyed Crystal Skull, but I know they also made some creative changes to try to do something a little different with it.
Nuking the fridge, I know is one.
It's actually going to be the only one not directed by Steven Spielberg, which I thought was interesting.
Really?
Yeah, he was attached to it originally, but I think he ended up having like too much on his plate and just decided to do some other projects instead.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Indy is one of those things that's just really hard to do wrong with. So I'm excited to see what they have in mind for this next one. Last I checked, the filming was slowed down a little bit because Harrison Ford injured his shoulder on set.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so they had to do like change their scheduling around, doing some other stuff without Harrison, try to keep their schedule on track. But I think they're still on track to get it released sometime next year.
Wow. Hey Danny, remember when I used to joke in Mass Effect 1 about how if you gave Garrus enough points in snipers, he becomes the hand of God? Remember that? Ha. Ah, yeah, because he becomes Archangel. Yep. Mass Effect 2 is really good, dude. 3 is still my favorite controversial hot take opinion, although I covered that in my Mass Effect 3 series, so I won't expound on it here. I did like a whole hour-and-a-half spiel about like the facts of the aftermath of 3 and then my personal experience in the aftermath of 3, i.e. it wasn't good.
All right, I have a question for you.
Yay.
What is this game?
This one? This is
what am I even looking at?
You're watching me power wash things. This is Power Wash Simulator. It's very fun and soothing, and it's in beta still, but like it has, so they're updating it pretty constantly. But it's got like a really like kind of zany plot. Like you're power washing this drill. Like you're just a dude who's trying to do a power washing company. And, like, while everything is kind of going to hell in the town around you, and you're just doing your business. And, like, some of your customers are just normal, but other ones are like, oh, we think we live in, like, a haunted house. Another one is, like, talking about, like, the mayor and how he's, like, rerouting the entire city's, like, water supply, and then his cat went missing, and they think they found it by the volcano, but then they didn't. Yes, there's a volcano near your town, and then another one has to deal with, like, carnies in a competition with each other. It's really, really bizarre and funny. Like, but it's not, like, plot-centric. It's mainly just, like, oh, just power wash things. I'm not using everything I could. Like, I'm not using, like, all the cleaning liquids and stuff that I could be, but I don't care enough. I just like spraying things with water until it goes away.
That's pretty much the way I wash my own car.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just douse it with water and hope for the best.
Pretty much. Although this gives you percentages. It's like the prologue to Viscera cleanup detail. You're doing a perfectly mundane job in a weird-ass place. Like Welcome to Night Vale, if you've ever listened. I don't think Ian's listened to Welcome to Night Vale.
No, I can't. I have not.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up because I got into, like, episode 60-something, and they're, like, 100 and something in. I was listening when it's a weekly podcast. I listened to it like when it first started, God, over 10 years ago, and then I fell out of it because weekly episodic things are just not my bag. I usually end up losing track of them. And it's years later, and there was also a lot of controversy that just like annoyed me, and like for a while they kind of let their political beliefs slip through into the show a bit too much. And it was like, you've got to slog through to get to this. And with me, I'm like, I just want escapism. I was like, I don't want to hear, like, your beliefs are fine, but, like, this is a show about, like, an eldritch town. Please keep it about an eldritch town. And don't have them go off on, like, a tangent.
I'm just amazed that somebody came up with a storyline involving this line of work.
Oh, yeah, dude, there are so many different simulators. Like, House Flipper is a really fun game. It's like HD.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that's a really fun one, and also very addicting, and I can get lost in that one for hours. The most I get lost in this one forever, though. Like, Katie's like, oh, I've lost Danny again. Like, she'd be like, Danny, and I'm like, just clean off one more thing, and then I get stuck on, like, oh, I'll just clean this off, and then I look, and it's, like, 5 hours later, and Katie's like, well, I have done, you know, like, Katie's like, well, I've washed the dishes, I've done my laundry, I've completed 3 video games, like, in the time it's taken for you to respond. I'm like, I'm sorry, I just get lost.
It looks like you're using a giant hose to spray down and wash an even larger giant hose.
It is a drill. It's an underground excavator. There's one where you have to clean off some mad scientist's like his spaceship or like his airship. You're pretty much like helping Eggman essentially. Like on that one, you're pretty much just helping Eggman clean off his really dirty like Eggmobile, essentially, like his newest invention. It's really funny because it's like, oh, it's just a special. This is the drill that will pierce the heavens. Who the hell do you think we are? Damn you and your Gurren Lagann references. But yeah, it's mainly just satisfying. It's just to make the serotonin go. It's just to make the little satisfying happiness go. It's just a nice
I,
background thing I can do while talking.
I can't help but question why give such a thorough wash to something that's just gonna be all dirty again as soon as it does its job and goes into the ground again.
There's like little stories behind each thing. Let me see here. Is this the
I,
Dirt Finder General? I've been given your details by the mayor, so the person who can wash things and keep the dirt to themselves. Meet
I was not actually expecting an answer. I can't believe there's an answer to this. Okay, but
Yep.
go on.
Meet Holy Moly, my subterranean mining unit. It's a one-man excavator that I use to scour beneath the Earth's crust for valuable mineral deposits. Well, not me personally, I just tell them where to dig. Anyway, you may find some unusual mineral traces during the clean. Please dispose of these judiciously. So there's like, since I've already played through this on like the quote-unquote plot, I'm doing it with like free play. So normally like during this you get like text messages and stuff that like also like move the plot along or like tell you what's going on with the person. There's one where you're like cleaning a children's playground and you get all these messages. It's just like, you look funny, like, haha, pee pee poo poo. And I started laughing because I knew exactly what happened. I was like, oh, one of the kids like got the daycare lady's phone. And like you just keep getting all like these immature text messages, and then you finally get, I'm so sorry, I don't know, like little Anna got my phone and ran off with it, and I just now found it. Like, so you were just being sent text messages by a child who found the phone. Like, just little stuff like that is so funny to me.
Pretty ingenious.
It is. It's. I mean, they're still working on it. Schedule maintenance for your machine, or your machine will schedule it for you. This isn't a funny answer, but even machines made to dig can get too much dirt in the mechanisms to stop working, whether grit gets stuck in the mechanisms or because it grinds out the wiring. Like how I constantly clog my food disposal. Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. And then afterwards, it's like, here's all the work you did. And as you notice, I'm kind of ADD. I just go all over the place because I just follow the dirt. I just follow where my heart tells me to go with the dirt.
This isn't like an actual replay of you.
Yeah, that was an actual replay of me cleaning the drill.
Wow.
Here, I'll play it again. Yeah, that was an actual replay of my clean. Of course, I chose the yellow jumpsuit because it's me, and I love yellow. Ta-da! That is a tremendous job, Dirt Finder. You've earned yourself some lucrative future work, contract work. Congratulations. And like, you get paid so much for like each job. Because like you just start out cleaning off like the van that you're going to get, and I got up through here last time just talking with Miri, because I mean these are just vehicles. Cleaning the actual like the houses and properties and stuff takes so long, but that's what we'll be moving on to next. Ooh, what is Kazi baking?
You wouldn't believe how many filthy Xbox One and PlayStation 4 consoles are brought into work for our technicians to deep clean and restore back for people.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could. You've seen them come in, but
yeah.
But you know, they're coming for the purpose of being clean, not for being traded or whatever. And my gosh, I don't even want to touch them, but. And it just leaves me wondering, where have these things been to even collect all this junk that's caked all over?
Yeah.
Okay, with these vehicles, it's obvious they just go places. But it's like, what do you do? What on earth do you do to your game console to make it look like that? I wonder.
Oh, Katie has a fucking pristine Super Nintendo controller, and it was like the most disgusting thing when someone brought it in. Back when I worked in my first job. A rough job cleaning consoles. One of my buddies, Owens, he loves doing that kind of stuff. Because he'll literally take the whole dang thing apart, like old Super Nintendos and stuff. Back when I worked at my first job, he would take the whole dang thing apart, find like a cleaning solution, and then just like let the plastic just soak in it like overnight. And he'd pull it out, and it would look brand spanking new.
So if I were to see the Super Nintendo controller, I would probably never even guess that that it went to hell and back.
Oh, you would have no idea.
That, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Katie, if you are hearing this, I don't know, because she's just kind of like doing stuff as she listens to this. If you are hearing this, can you take a picture of that SNES controller, um, and send it to Ian? Because holy crap.
So whose monster truck is this that you're cleaning out?
Let's see. Sarah Sawatis. So the search for Ulysses the cat, that is the mayor's cat, has finally been called off, though not before we chased every wild goose out there. Even old Freda in the lighthouse claimed she saw him in the distance, speeding across the rocks faster than any animal she'd ever seen. Though when I pressed her and asked her if he had wheels, she looked down at her feet and nodded. So this vehicle. Anyway, we're back to driving back to base when a group of miners, furious at not being paid by the mayor, blocked the road and symbolically poured a load of concrete over the monster truck. How that solves their problems is anyone's guess, but it sure gives you one heck of a job to do.
Here, here.
Let's see. My brother hates looking at my laptop. I eat near it and constantly get shit and crumbs all in it. I always feel bad. He bought me a USB extender because half my ports don't work anymore. Oh man. I thankfully, having worked used gaming retail for 4 years, have a pretty good sense of how to open and close like quite a few consoles. So I usually end up cleaning my own out. I have like a nice little air compressor that you like plug in and everything. So yeah, I thankfully, I actually gave my PS4 kind of a deeper clean last year before I figured out it was one of the settings that wasn't letting Final Fantasy 15 work, and then Katie suggested that because I was like trying to deep clean that sucker and it wasn't working too well, and then she was finally like, oh, maybe it's the HDCP setting. And I'm like, but I have the bypass. And she's like, well, yeah, but there's a setting for it on the PS4. Go here. And I tried it, and then it worked like a charm. And I was like, well, shit. Well, at least my PS4 got a cleaning.
Can you explain more about that? Like why a console would not run software because of a setting?
Yeah, it was to prevent, it was literally just to prevent capture. Like, it was literally to prevent capture cards from doing their jobs. Because they didn't want games like, essentially, like older consoles like the PS3 and, like some have HDCP, like with your PS4 it's weird. Like if you choose to watch YouTube or Netflix or any like video service on it, you have to enable HDCP, and that's so people can't go in and like pirate shows off of it. Like, so for instance, like if I wanted to turn on, now Disney Plus, it's not on Netflix anymore, but like say if I wanted to try to be sneaky, which I would never do this, honestly, I bought them on Blu-ray because I wanted to support the show that much, because I love it that much. If I wanted to like be a sneaky jerk and like watch Daredevil and record it for my private use later, like I would, you know, go on Netflix and plug in my capture card and start like a private recording. And then just record it on my screen, and then if I like was on like a torrent site, I could put it out for people to torrent and watch later, and therefore, you know, bypass the need for now Disney Plus, but you know, previously Netflix. But no, I have that crap on Blu-ray. So what HDCP does is it prevents that, like it makes it really laggy and hard to record, or like it makes it just really laggy in general and makes it choppy, and so it's not appealing, and so therefore you can't kind of record that stuff. So usually when it started with like systems that were coming out with video, that were coming out as like video entertainment, like, and had like streaming services and stuff like that. It was a way to prevent that kind of piracy. So it had HDCP enabled. So, but like if I wanted to play a PS3 game, like I did with Deadly Premonition, I had to get like I had to do like this weird thing to bypass, and I still have the like the cable and the thing I used to bypass it, because I'm not planning on doing that streaming crap. I'm just planning on doing gaming for it. And for a while there was that like anti-piracy on, like, you know, like when Let's Plays were new to the scene and stuff like that, was still when the PS3 was kind of in its heyday. So you know, like before Let's Plays were seen as a form of fair use, it was seen as piracy. So they were doing everything they could to prevent that from happening. And that's why HDCP exists. And so that's why on the PS4, there's actually just a switch for it. So it's like, oh, if you're just watching something, yeah, just turn this on. And if you actually want to stream something, just turn it off. It's fine. You can hook up your capture card. We don't care.
Interesting. Now I've played. I sometimes will play a game on PlayStation 4, where it would block recording of a lot of content.
Yes, you can get around that with a capture card. That's
okay. Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah, but I was wondering if that recording blocking had anything to do with that setting, or is that a completely different kind of?
No, that's different. That's just so people don't go spoiling the game, like, you know, like a day after it's out, you know, because some people just sit there and do nothing but play games. There are some channels, and I mean, I do follow a couple just for reference, that do that kind of stuff. They record stuff pretty much like they sit there and play it, and it's their job, and they get paid to, you know, like they literally get paid to put these videos out, and They'll record boss fights, they'll record all the cutscenes and put them into a movie, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's just to prevent really spoilers from happening for, you know, the first however long, because they want people to experience it on their own. You know, they want people to buy it and experience it. So they're like, okay, well, even if you play this, or even if you're watching this or streaming it, there are still some scenes that you can't watch. So haha, you have to buy the game. But if you like what you see enough, we'll let you watch and see if you like what you see enough. But the most important things you cannot see. Ha ha, hee hee, ho ho. That's essentially what it is.
Is that your impression of a corporate laugh?
Yeah, no. That was that was the funny farm. They're coming to take me away. Ha ha, hee hee, ho ho, to the funny farm. That's where I am. Oh, have you been doing stuff again? Oh, the Friday the 13th game? You're not missing much with Friday the 13th, the game.
I know some people who really like it.
It was really good when it started, but they tried to, like, right out from the Kickstarter, it left a sour ass taste in my mouth, because I kickstarted it, and then they took my information and put it towards another project. And put my money, like took my credit card info and put my money towards another project. And I emailed, like, I got a hold of my credit card company. I said, I did not authorize this purchase. And then I got on their ass about it. And I'm like, you want a lawsuit? And they were like, no. And they refunded me everything and didn't send me the game.
You mean that they just charged you an additional purchase for something else?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it
yeah,
money?
Yeah, they put it, so I had kickstarted Friday the 13th, and then the company was like, oh, we're also working on another game, so we're gonna, you know, like, we're gonna charge you for that other game too, even though I did not agree to that. So I kicked up a big stink with those devs, and
so they didn't split their funding. This funding, they just
took it. Yeah, they just took it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to have my credit card changed and everything.
That's really scummy, or somebody messed up big time?
Well, either way, I got all that money refunded, but I still had to change my credit card. Katie remembers when that happened to me. Because I was pissed. And then, like, I have a couple of friends that have played the game, and, like, I bought it to play with people, but by the time that I actually, like, did buy it, by the time I actually did buy it, it was just like people were getting sick of it, or, you know, it's just the usual online play stuff, you know, you get just paired up with everyone who knows everything, and if you're new, you know, it's just not good to be in there, and blah, 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 and this is why I don't play games online, and my friends had stopped playing it. So, I finally sold it for, like, brand new for, like, $5 on eBay. I was like, take it. Somebody just take it. Just get it out of here.
I bought it for $3 digitally because I was planning to play the game with some friends, and that never ended up happening. So now it's just sitting in my library waiting for I don't know, the right Halloween crowd or something.
Yeah, Pretty much. And, like, as usual with online stuff, I know they nerfed a lot of abilities, and they made... because Friday the 13th is my favorite slasher franchise, besides Alien. I will argue that Alien is a slasher franchise till the day I die. At least the first one is. First one is decidedly a slasher. What?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yes.
A slasher film in spirit, at least.
The first one definitely is, because the tagline is, "In space, no one can hear you scream." That's definitely a slasher tagline.
One of the best taglines ever. Also.
Yeah. So besides Alien, like Freddy is pretty much my favorite of the of the slashers. So I was like pumped, I was hyped, and then that crap happened, and then the game turned out to just be and then I was like, well, all right. And then I was cleaning out my PS4 games, and I was like, I've never played this, like my physical games, and I was like, I've actually never played this. I'm just gonna sell it on eBay.
Man, that's a crazy turnaround to be anticipating a project so much that you would fund it ahead of time, to just be sitting on your own sealed copy doing nothing with it, and then just, lukewarming selling it away. That's such a wild turnaround.
And you know me, I don't sell games. Like, I went, like, when I go through my collection, I sit there and I go, do I need a physical copy of this? Do I really? Because I'm trying to downsize. I'm like, do I really? Or can I, like, get a digital copy of it? Like, is this collector's edition worth it? Is it something I'm really going to display in the future? And sometimes it's still a resounding hell yes. Most of the times it is. And other times it's, I can sign up for this price drop on PS prices and wait to get an email that the digital version is on sale. And or, like, am I really going to replay this kind of thing? Like, Little Nightmares, I streamed that in October, and I liked it, but I also got frustrated with it. To the point where I was like, I think I'm going to sell my collector's edition. I still haven't put that up yet, but I pulled it out and everything, and I went and got, like, the box with the figure and everything like that, and I just waited for, it to go on sale on the PlayStation Store, and I bought it for, like, $2. So in case I ever wanted to go back to Trophy Hunt, I have it, Or if I just wanted to play it again. And then I just got Little Nightmares 2 on digitally as well. So I'm like, okay, that's cool.
The cat on this truck, in the front of the truck, now that it's clean, it actually looks really cute.
Oh, he's still being clean. I was in the underbelly for a while.
Well, it looks better already.
Yes, FL meow. Yes, like how the company who was originally helping develop Hive Swap stole half the money. What? Leaving the actual Homestuck devs to flounder and figure out what the fuck to... Wait, what? What is that, Miri?
That sounds like a scandal.
It does sound like a fucking scandal, and oh god, if it has to do with Homestuck, that is that's pissing off a lot of people. That's pissing off a lot of people. Oh my gosh. Including Dante Bosco, of all people. If you don't know who that is, Rufio.
Yes, Dante.
Yep. It's only technically gossip because the NDAs were so tight. Oh, that sucks. This was so many years ago, though. Yeah, Hamsteak ended forever ago. I was never a big Homestuck fan, but I have friends that were. So I like vaguely know of Homestuck through some of my friends. I never got into it.
Is it me, or does this power wash hose look somewhat like one of those portal guns?
Kind of. You can add, like, extensions to it, too. Like, I can add, like, this extension, see how it looks longer? And then I can add this extension, which means I can like, reach really high or, like, spray really far. But I can't, but, like, when I get really close to something, see how it, like, stops? Like that, because it's like, no, the hose is in the way. So, this is, like, the most powerful washer, though. And then, stubby gun. It does look like a portal gun, but this is, like, the most powerful one. It tried setting me up with the crappy one last time, and I was like, excuse you.
And you pretty much just stick the same setup each time, right?
What do you mean?
Like the same host setup, or no, or do you change it up?
Oh, I vary it up because there's some where it's like you definitely have to use the extensions and stuff like that to be able to reach stuff. Like there's one where you're like cleaning a Ferris wheel, and oh my god, that's gonna be a nightmare to replay. I was like, I never want to play this again. And now that I'm, going through and doing this, I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm gonna have to do that fucking Ferris wheel again, aren't I?
A whole Ferris wheel that has to take forever. My
It
goodness.
it took like 5 hours. It was absolutely ridiculous. Oh, see you, Mary. Thank you for stopping by.
5 hours real time.
Yeah, real time.
Goodness.
Yeah. Oh, this game doesn't like it. It's just like perpetually in like whatever time of day. There's no day-night cycle in this. It's like, just have fun with the washies.
I'm amazed you haven't started a flood around the building yet. That much water.
Oh, I forgot the truck was named after the cat. I never want to do this again. Proceeds to go 100% on Neo Twoey. Oh my god. Proceeds to plot another D&D campaign. Proceeds to get another reenactment garb idea. Yeah, I know. I know. That is the curse of us, Miri. Oh, so something a lot of people in chat, pretty much all of chat, is going to get hype about. The Sonic 2 movie.
Yes, I am very much looking forward to it. It looks just as promising as the previous one. The marketing has been fantastic again.
Oh my gosh, that poster. Katie was the one that showed it to me, and then I started freaking out.
Somebody working at Paramount Pictures definitely knows Sonic, and that's always a good sign to see.
Yeah, they're keeping it to the old games, and Katie and I were playing spot the old school Sonic references, like not just with the games, but like they had Sonic Sat, like the whole Power Rings are a Sonic Sat-Am reference. And then they had a reference to the OVA with Metal Sonic. Of course you won, Katie. You're one of the OGs, for God's sake. But then they had like Knuckles' hat. Like Sonic for a brief second was wearing Knuckles' hat from like the OVA with that introduced Metal Sonic and everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was wearing that because Katie was like, "Wait, go back," and she spotted it, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Knuckles' hat!" She was like, "It's Knuckles' hat."
This is why I wanted to watch Sonic with you guys, because I know Katie's an even bigger Sonic nerd than I am. And
yeah, you two grew up with the Genesis.
Yeah, I would have loved to have spotted learned all those Easter eggs at the same time that you did.
Oh my gosh, they made a very vague. At least we both saw it as a Sonic Underground reference with him playing on the drum set. Even though Manic was technically the one who Manic, my boy, was the one who was the drummer. We saw that drum set as a Sonic Underground reference. We were like, yeah, that's probably an homage. They had so many neat little things. What I'm hoping they'll do is go through the first 3 games and then end it. Just make it a trilogy and then end it.
Yeah, they probably don't need more than 3 movies to summarize the classic. Well, summarize the classic story. I was going to say, which they actually aren't even doing. But 3 movies is fine enough for their own story, probably.
Yeah. I'm still like out on Jim Carrey's Eggman, because I think it's a very interesting portrayal. But Eggman is also like the reason Robotnik. Excuse me, it is Robotnik in this timeline because it is not the 3D games. Sorry, Katie. She gets very, very salty with me when I use Eggman when it comes to classic. She's like, it's Robotnik! with the newer gen, she'll let Eggman slide. So, sorry, Katie. I'm like, but Robotnik is the reason I love Mad Scientists. So, but like, you could tell Jim Carrey was like giving it 150%.
Oh yeah, he definitely seemed like he was having a blast doing the movie, and he's also like the type of actor that really does not do sequels to his franchise work all that often. So
no.
For him to be all on board already to do another sequel is probably a sign that he was like really having a good time.
Which is interesting because my mom watches this like Sunday morning news show that, you know, isn't just like doom and gloom. They just like they tend to talk about like just a bunch of different topics. Just like really interesting things. And they did an interview with Jim Carrey, and he was talking about his involvement in the Sonic movie, and he literally only took it at first because he just wanted to be in a kids movie, like to show like his family. He just literally just wanted to be in a kids movie for his family. Like he didn't know anything about games.
Yeah, doesn't he have like a daughter who was familiar with the games and
something like that? Yeah. But like he really doesn't know like anything about Sonic or like Robotnik or anything like that, but I'm guessing he took a crash course. But like it's very interesting. And like I pointed out with Robotnik back in the day, he was kookier while being menacing. Yes, that's true. Old school Robotnik was way kookier, while also being menacing.
I wonder if Carrie like played Sonic Genesis and looked at Robotnik and thought, okay, what would this guy say if he could talk?
Yeah.
Just kind of went from there.
And like, what would this guy say before he went crazy? Like, what would he be like before he went crazy? Because Katie also pointed out, like, we are looking at like a proto Robotnik. Like, you know, this is like we really don't know what his life was like before he went crazy.
Now, even though the stories are not really about Robotnik, I think they're kind of marked by his evolution. So if they do the 3-movie arc, which it sounds like they most likely will do it that way. You know, the first movie is about his rise to power. His second movie will be about his revenge, and the third will be the fall.
Ooh, that would be really cool. Especially, yeah, because they're getting Knuckles, and hopefully they play Knuckles right, because here is a big old pet peeve of mine. Knuckles is gullible. Gullible does not mean stupid. Like, the newer games just make him stupid. Just outright dumb. Like, he's just a big, dumb musclehead. And, like, the first adventure showed us that he was gullible. He got tricked by Eggman and that. And then in the old school games, he got tricked by Robotnik, and they showed us that. But gullible doesn't mean stupid. It just means that you're prone to believing misinformation. And when you find out the truth, you know, you're like, oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Like, I'm kind of gullible, you know?
Well, judging from the trailer, I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think they're taking that direction with the character. They're portraying him to be, you know, a really strong and definitely a dangerous for Sonic, and he's not like doing the kind of pratfalls or one-liners that Sonic or Robotnik are doing. So
yeah,
I think they're taking it in the direction that you're hoping for here.
Yeah, well, especially with the line that Mary pointed out, what makes you think I need your power? Before he just starts wailing on Sonic and stuff like that. I'm like, and the fact that they got Idris Elba to voice him, holy crap.
So let's see, the second movie, if they're doing the Knuckles story arc, I guess they're going to be like very loosely covering the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Well, he was he in Sonic 2? I thought he was like an antagonist in Sonic 2.
He never officially appeared in Sonic 2. It was only with the Knuckles, Sonic Knuckles add-on. You can play as Knuckles in Sonic 2. But that was like an unofficial way to play the game.
Yeah. And they're introducing Tails as well.
That's actually why I was surprised that they already have Knuckles. I thought maybe they would save him for the third movie and give, you know, Tails a chance to get introduced and enter the story. But no, they're gonna do them both, I guess.
Yeah. Katie's saying Tails was introduced in 2, Knuckles in 3. Mary says Jim Carrey Robotnik reminded me of my favorite Robotnik thing, which is that he truly believes he is the most competent and desirable man on Earth. Yeah, that's very true. I love how his assistant is like. His assistant is just a full-on doormat. It's really funny. It's just very funny to me.
And apparently makes a very delicious latte.
Yes. Oh man, I'm interested to see Jim Carrey with that trademark Robotnik mustache.
Well, like, they already have a lot of footage of that in the trailer, so
they do.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to see it until it, like, you know, until, like, I'm not going to be able to, again, like, pass judgment on it until, like, I see it live. which I don't know
Yeah,
when
sure.
the heck I'll be seeing that. I don't know if they're releasing I don't know if they're doing like what they're doing with a lot of movies nowadays, or if they're doing it streaming and in movie theaters, which I would like that. Where it's like, hey, if you want to pay, like to stream it from the comfort of your home because, you're just not comfortable going to movie theaters, but you're still paying to see it. I would like that because I'm
Uh,
not going to go to a movie theater.
Gosh, I want to go to the movies so badly, but yeah, I'm still reluctant to do it. It bums me out. It's always been one of my favorite places to be. But anyway, I think last I checked, I think they're gonna go with just movie theaters for now.
Damn it.
But remember, we're also living in the era where like the window between theater to home video is now shorter than ever. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you only got to wait about 2 months until you can watch it at home.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
you,
true.
you, yeah, I remember it used to take forever for movies to make their way from the theater to the home.
It would be at least a
Um,
year.
Often, yeah. Gosh, I remember it was taking forever for Toy Story, the first Toy Story movie, to reach home video. Um, I don't know like what the holdup was, if they were just building up anticipation, or if they were just trying to print as many VHS tapes as they were expecting to sell, or what. But gosh, I remember like loving Toy Story when I went to see the movie, and I knew I wanted to own the video cassette someday, um, and ask for it for Christmas and all that. But gosh, I think it was like at least a year and a half wait until that movie finally made its way to VHS, and like finally, it's every bit as good as I remembered it. But why such a long wait? And now everybody's spoiled. They don't have to wait more than 3 months now for their movie of interest to reach whatever format they want to see it on.
Yeah, that's
Time,
true.
Times have changed.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I wonder if it was something about getting a movie like that onto VHS because it was, like it was very groundbreaking at the time, that kind of 3D animation, especially for a whole movie. So I wonder if they had like problems getting it onto the VHS format.
That's a good point. I hadn't considered that.
I don't
I,
I
I think
don't quite know though.
I think maybe another reason for such a short window nowadays is the studios want to get ahead of the crowd that would um, pirate and distribute the movie before they do.
100%, even though freaking like Black Widow was out like the day after it released. They had like a 4K rip out on the internet.
Of course, there's if you know where to look, it's always out there.
Oh yeah. The process of getting a movie converted into a physical VHS tape must have been a bear too. Yep, Miri just said what yeah, we were talking about. There's always a latency between the stream and the chat, even though I put it on low latency. I know nothing about it, but seems more difficult than converting a digital movie to another digital format. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it's just digital. Digital is quicker and easier. Um, but yeah, hopefully, we won't have to wait too long for Sonic.
Now, I
Because
don't know this as a now I don't know this as a fact, but I read somewhere recently that Toy Story 2 was almost completely lost because the digital file um, that they had in the studio um, somehow got lost, and that was like the only master file of that movie that they had for them to mass reproduce it and distribute it. So
what?
yeah, and some employee of the company just happened to have a backup, uh, uh, backup chip or hard drive or something with that file there, and that one person basically saved the movie from um, being lost forever after it all been completed.
Oh my
Again,
god.
I don't know if that's true. I have to look into it, but if that is true, that's got to be a wild story.
Yeah, Katie knows a lot about Toy Story. Katie, do you know anything about that? If you are near the computer, she is the Toy Story aficionado between the both of us. I was like, I'm broken for the longest time because I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, I read Indian in the Cupboard. This isn't anything new or novel to me. And everyone was like, this is the coolest, newest thing on the block. And I was like, I read Indian in the Cupboard, dudes. Like, this isn't anything new or exciting to me. Also, I was very salty. I will admit I was very salty because my favorite animated movie of all time was completely just like outdone at the box office because everyone wanted to see the new 3D animation of Toy Story. So and they were like, Balto, who cares about Balto? And I'm like, I care about Balto.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it tanked. Balto tanked in the box office because of Toy Story, and I was very angry at it for a very long time.
I don't blame you, and I think a similar fate happened to the Iron Giant, which is considered a cult classic nowadays, but it bombed at the box office because the kind of animation that it was showcasing just wasn't really hip or trending anymore.
Yeah.
It's a shame because it's a great story and a great movie, but not many people gave it a chance because they just kind of saw it as an outdated format.
Which is really sad because it was a tribute to Brad Bird's sister who died.
Oh,
And
really? I didn't know that.
yeah, it's a tribute to his sister. She died. Like it's an anti-war movie.
Mhm.
And that is because of his sister. I forget how she died, but it was due to his sister's death. That it's very much an anti-war sentiment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the whole movie was dedicated to her memory. So that makes it even sadder that it bombed in the box office. I care about Balto. Thank you, Miri. I like
But,
every time I watch Balto, I'm like, am I gonna cry? The answer is always yes.
well, at least both movies, Balto and Iron Giant, eventually found the crowd that appreciates it. It's a shame they didn't discover it sooner, so it could have made more money. But in the end, the people that it was made for, they've seen it, they appreciate it, and that's what I think it's really all about.
That's true. Balto has like 2 or 3 different sequels. Actually, they were all direct-to-video sequels, but they were there.
Any of them any good?
I remember liking Wolf Quest, but I was also younger, so I'd actually have to like rewatch them now as someone who is older and be like, it's crap, but I enjoy it, or just like, oh, it's crap.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if it holds up later on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm kind of curious about. I'm like, but does this hold up though?
If I'm not mistaken, The Dark Crystal. Have you seen that movie? Do you know that?
Oh, they had that Netflix series. I've been meaning to watch that so I could watch the Netflix series.
Yeah, The Dark Crystal is another example of a movie that got overshadowed by the one with the bigger hype train. I believe it opened in the same weekend as E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Oh God, I cannot stand ET. It scared the crap out of me. Oh
Yeah,
man.
well,
And then we
yeah,
watched Mac and Me. You, me, and Katie all watched Mac and Me. Remember
oh,
that?
that was a blast, wasn't it?
I like
Pretty
that.
nice.
I like that Paul Rudd trolls Conan every time with clips from Mac and Me, and Conan's like, "Please, no more. I beg you." And he's just like, "No, I promise this is Ant-Man footage." And then there's just clips of Mac and Me in there, and Conan's just dead faced.
It's the same clip every time of the kid losing control of his wheelchair. He's running down a hill, he can't stop. Then he falls into a lake or something, and the alien looks down and has like a surprised look on his face.
Yes, yes, yeah. Because I remember when that clip played, you were like, you and Katie were like, "Oh, it's the Conan clip," and I was like, "Oh my God, it is the Conan clip." I was like, all we're missing is Conan O'Brien's dead expression.
And
Oh.
that movie was partially funded by McDonald's, which is why it has so much freaking McDonald's product placement in there.
I did not know that. Holy crap.
Yeah, they had like a whole dance sequence in a McDonald's restaurant.
Oh my! Oh yeah, they did. Oh, you were
Yeah.
mentioning the Dark Crystal. So Miri just screeched, cuddled up to her DVD and also her novel. She said, "Not gonna lie, the reason Breath of the Wild hit me so hard is because it gives me the exact same breathless wonder over reclaiming your right to a decayed world that reading the novelization of the Dark Crystal gave me." Oh, that's really awesome.
Wow.
Still need to finish Breath of the Wild. Still got caught up in doing every Sheikah shrine available. Oops.
Well, one of my favorite thing to tell my customers nowadays is, "Hey, I'll be straight with you. I've never really been a big Zelda game fan. It's never been my thing. But let me tell you, Breath of the Wild really blew me away. Like that's a game I will recommend to everybody. Nintendo really outdid themselves with that game.
Oh yeah, they
Uh,
did.
yeah, even me as a non-Zelda fan, uh, has gave that one a 10 out of 10. It was fantastic.
I didn't know you weren't like I know you didn't really play Zelda. I didn't know you were like no Zelda, no thanks. Is it just like just because you? I'm just curious. Is it like because you haven't, or do you actually just like not really enjoy it?
Well, I've actually had the original two Zelda games in my NES collection for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and I never got far in them. I just was not very good at the game. I couldn't get the hang of it. I couldn't stay interested in it, and so I never really had any reason to look any deeper into the series. I just couldn't get into it. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not good at the original Zelda. I would die so frequently and have to restart over again. I'm sure it gets easier when you have like a bigger life bar and all that, but I couldn't get to that point. I just got frustrated by it.
Oh, it could be hard as balls. Um.
Yeah,
Oh, Miri says Breath of the Wild is my first Zelda game. High fives. Yes, yeah. Miri's first console was an Xbox, like the
yeah,
OG
yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah. But Breath of the Wild, gosh, as soon as Amanda and I started playing that one through together, uh, I was immediately hooked by it. Um, the visuals were outstanding, and there was like so much to do, like even early on in the game. Um, it's phenomenal. I can't praise it highly enough.
Oh yeah, it's like there's so much to do. That's why I didn't finish it because open world games I tend to get burned out, which is why I didn't finish Legends Arceus as quickly as everyone else did. I got burned out, and I was like, I'll finish replaying through the Ace Attorney series, and then the last game, Spirit of Justice, took me a while to replay because I hadn't played it since it came out, and then I was like, all right, but it took me a while to get through because there was so much going on in my life at the time that I was just like too depressed to pick up a console of any kind. I was like, ugh. I'll just sit here on
It,
my bed and exist.
it was the perfect launch title for the Switch to show off what it could do, and to get fans invested in it right away.
I played it on my Wii U. I have both. I do have both. But the file I need to like beat it on is definitely my Wii U one. Because Lord, I put so many hours into it. But I get burned out on as much as I love open world games. I genuinely love them. I get burned out on them so quickly. Just
Yeah, enough exposure to any do that to you.
yeah, and like I was playing Legends Arceus like a fucking fiend and a half. And so I got burned out like after like the first couple of weeks. And I was like, man, I think I'm gonna make it because like I do side quests. Like if you give me the chance to do a side quest, I will do the side quest. So I was just kind of going insane with doing side quests, and I only have 4 actually that I have not completed, and I'm in the end game portion like right now. So there's like it's like again you give me the option and I'll do it. So I was doing the side quests, and a lot of people were just like, even that I'd talked to, like it came out on Friday, and by Monday I had people being like, yeah, I've got the water Pokemon. Hang on, I need to take a drink. They're like, I've got the one that lets you ride on the water, and I'm really bad at catching it on the water. And there was another friend from high school. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she was like, I'm bad at catching Pokemon on the water. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I've already got the water Pokemon. I'm like, I'm still in the first area. What are you talking about? She's like, I'm in area 3. I'm like, but I want to explore everything. I want to see it all.
My shop has a misprint edition of the Breath of the Wild on Wii U. Did you know there was a misprint?
I did not know there was a misprint. What?
Yeah, a very small one. The customer who traded it in, he brought it to my attention. He knew that he had an uncommon item in his hand, and I checked it out for myself. And sure enough, yeah, the misprint edition of the game on Wii U is definitely more valuable than the standard edition, just for collectors' reasons.
That's like Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
the original one. Katie has the misprint version as well.
yeah.
Katie has like every version.
Yeah. So it's just a very small thing. The first print had listed a controller that was actually not compatible with it. You know how the Nintendo has like a symbols like showing compatible controllers for their games.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So one of them that they showed was actually false. It didn't work. I don't remember exactly which one it was, um, but as soon as that mistake was noticed, they Nintendo quickly fixed it in later printings, and so most of them were sold with the correct compatibility list.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So it's so in other words, the original print is just has like one extra controller symbol that the other one doesn't, and that's enough. And that's apparently enough to make it a um, desirable to collectors.
Holy shit. How much higher is it than like the regular Wii U version?
Well, let me see. Let me check something because right now we have it in the store for about $200, and it's also brand new sealed. So those
Oh,
are so yeah. So it's the those are the two reasons why it's priced as high as it is.
oh my gosh.
Um, I'll check price charting really quick because yeah, the regular edition of that game is not nearly worth as much. Let me see. Uh, Wii U. Let's see.
Oh my god, $200. The new like a new sealed misprint makes sense though.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it wouldn't be that much of a difference if it was used, but I guess um, its condition makes it more valuable. Okay. Yeah, there's actually not really a huge difference on price charting between the two prints, except for it being brand new. That's the real difference.
Oh, okay. So if you can find like a used open one, it doesn't really matter. It'll still be kind of cheap.
Yeah, but if you happen to find like a sealed edition of the revised print, that's not worth nearly as much as a sealed copy of the first print.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
sense. Okay, so now we're going to clean a boat and this makes me laugh cuz this is the mayor skipping town with too much like with too many things. Everyone calls you Dirt Finder for some reason. Dirt Finder, are you as mesmerized by the principle of Archimedes as I am? There's barely a day goes by when I don't undertake some kind of minor water displacement experiment. Today I'm seeing what happens when I pack all my worldly goods onto my frolic boat and take it for a trip downriver someplace. I've granted you full access to my property to assist the clean, which will be rescinded following the removal of the final fleck. Because before you had to clean the front of this guy's house through the front gate. So like that was like using the the extensions, like the long extensions and stuff. That was the only way you could clean that house. I appreciate if we kept this between ourselves. I don't want anyone to get the ridiculous idea that I'm skipping town. So the mayor wants you to clean off his boat so he can leave.
At least he's being honest about his dishonesty.
Yeah, well, kind of. He's like, I don't want anyone to get this idea that I'm skipping town. So one of the prior missions was clean the front of this house through the gate like this. And I'll be doing that when I get to the buildings. But, like, look at this. Like, can you imagine? Because he wouldn't let you onto the property because it was mayor property.
Wow.
Yeah, dude is crazy. It's really funny.
Can you wash the house? Is that possible?
I mean, there's no dirt on it now, but I mean, yeah, I can walk up to it and spray it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think these guys are from the UK as well.
Okay.
Because some of their language and spelling is indicative of British
Shouting,
English.
he shouted from the window, "No! What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's over there."
Oh
Sure.
man.
Well, the name Dirt Finder is kind of obvious. That is basically what you do for a living.
Yeah, you find the dirt and clean it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you like. I think you just go by like the power wash, power wash services, but people just call you Dirt Finder. It's really funny. This game is just like a weird, kooky sense of humor, and I love it.
I found my new nickname for customers who bring in their consoles for cleaning now.
Dirt Finder.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Dirt Finder. Yeah, welcome back.
I mean, for consoles, to answer that question, it's like some of them, I mean, pets can really clog the crap out of your system, like the fur, like fur and everything, especially like my cat, who is always shedding perpetually, just shedding, like just for some reason or another. I mean, I have to be careful not to let her near my stuff, and I have to go through my systems and open them up and give them a good cleaning. I mean, and due to the fact that it's near like an air vent and like my setup is like near an air vent and everything, so that blows dust particles around and all that crap. Dander, yeah. Oh, yeah. Miri's cat Drax likes to, yes, like Guardians of the Galaxy, likes to sit on the PS4 because it's warm.
Yeah. Down, Dander, off the PS4. Get off.
Drax, get off the PS4. It was funny because his previous owners didn't know what to name him, and then they watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're calling him Drax."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then when Miri and Kazi got him, they're like, "We're not going to change this name." Because he is a big burly boy, but he's also kind of dumb.
Cats evidently love to chew on those Wii sensor bars.
Yes, because it's very easy to chew through the wires. I've had to buy like 3 replacements because of my cat. It's very easy for them to chew through those wires. Are you talking about the sensor bar itself?
The wires, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have $100 by now for every time. If I had $1 for every time someone told me that I need a new sensor bar, my cat chewed through the other one that I had.
Oh my gosh. Recommend Amazon.com or recommend. Hang on, I have
buy one for me, $10.
Yeah, that's true. But there are like I have like 10 cord protectors, and they taste like eucalyptus and like things that cats don't like. So now my cat can stop chewing through my crap. So it's like, yeah, no, I'm not like Amazon.com new thing. I'm like Amazon.com cat anti-chew cord. That's why I mostly have braided cables where I can, because she doesn't like the texture of the cables and she can't chew through it as quickly.
I wonder if anyone buys or makes like some kind of a bubble that their pets can't get into with their game consoles, you know?
People like, I mean, usually people are like, oh, just get like one with like a glass door, you know, on the front. But I'm like, yeah, that leads to overheating, fam.
Yeah, that'd be the only thing.
Yeah, that leads to overheating real bad. So, I don't know. Like, people have definitely done creative things. There's a cat channel, Cole and Marmalade, although Cole sadly died of cancer last year, and he was young. He was 9 or 10, and that's pretty young for cats. So, he died of, like, some kind of, like, nasal cancer. But they still they're still keeping the name Cole and Marmalade. Every year, or for their Christmas tree, they have to put up a plastic shield around the Christmas tree because Marmalade likes to climb it. It's a fake one, but Marmalade will climb it and pull it down. So, I mean, cat owners do really crazy stuff to prevent their cats from getting into certain things.
I wish I wasn't allergic to cats because I would spend so much more time petting yours.
I know.
So many other friends I know. It's like
I know. My baby's she's such a love bug too. She's like, Uncle Ian, pets, and you're like, yeah, I want to.
Well, I'll do it. I'll just feel a little uncomfortable like a half hour later. I'm not going to say no to a cat who asks for my attention. I just don't have it in me to do that.
Oh yeah. What I was saying.
I'll take the hit.
Well, what I was saying earlier is my cat likes to interrupt me at the worst possible times. Like, I was fighting like one of the last bosses in Legends Arceus before Endgame, anyway, and it's I mean, it's a doable fight. It's not like the fight before it, which was frustrating and annoying, but it was doable, but you definitely had to be paying attention to what you were doing. And she then decided to come up and just for some reason, she's been a very demandy Sandy today. She decided to come up and just go, meow, like really demandingly and very loudly and angrily. And I'm like, what is your malfunction? And she got me killed.
Oh, gosh.
I was like, cat! She absolutely got me killed. And I was like, cat? What? And it turns out she just wanted me to go downstairs and sit so she could sit on the arm of the chair and shove her butt against my arm and just sit there for a little while.
For the last few months that I had been living with Amanda, I had been sleeping in the basement where their reclusive cat kind of made into its lair. Um, and there was two cats in the house. One spent most of its time on the main floor, and the other one spent like all of its time in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think it's because it was one of those like non-trusting kind of cats, you know. Like
Yeah.
maybe they had like rough experiences with humans in their early lives, and so it just takes them a while.
Some are
And
just naturally skittish too. Some just don't like people.
yeah, and this particular cat was not only pretty large, or I guess I'll say fat, a lots of fur, and I'm pretty sure it was the kind of fur that that my body doesn't like.
Oh
Uh,
no.
I definitely had to like double up on my allergy pills in order to get through the nights.
Oh no.
But even so, I was tried to befriend the cat a bit because I knew it just doesn't, it spends most of its time alone. I thought, well, if I'm gonna invite myself into its space, I might as well like try to get friendly, get on good terms with it. But every time I saw the cat or got near it, it would always run away to some shadowy corner or some other part of the room, and just wanted nothing to do with me. And just got the impression that it was just nervous about everybody all the time. According to Amanda, the cat would only come up to eat with like a lot of coaxing, but then it would just spend time in the shadows of the basement, and I just happened to be there for a while.
Huh.
And yeah, I would hardly ever see it until a few weeks later. I'd say one day, the cat gradually started spending more and more time closer to where I was.
Aw.
Yeah, and like another week go by, and then there was like less distance, and basically, I think the cat just kind of slowly started to realize that that I'm harmless. I just happen to be here. I'm not trying to, you know, take or anything from it or chase it or anything. Um, and then in like the last week or two that I was staying in the house, um, the cat actually came up to me and would do the headbutt thing to greet
Mm-hmm.
me when I was
Oh, it really liked you.
somehow I found a way to win it over, and and welcome my company, I guess. And
Aw. Yeah, cats are just, it's on their terms. I mean, it's just, you just got to accept it. You just got to accept what they want on their terms.
like nobody thought it possible, but yeah,
That's
we
so
were
sweet.
we were friends at the end.
That's so sweet. I always love hearing stories like that. Where the cat's like, no, you're okay.
Just come up to me randomly, and just nudge me with its head, and and invite me to pet it, and nudge me again, and walk away, then come back a short while later and do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, every cat is different. I mean, my cousin had a cat who was just super skittish, and I never saw him, like, ever, but I knew he had it. Oh, your cat sitter that's like the cat whisperer with Drax? It's really funny because Drax does not like to be held. He is just like, no, do not pick me up, moms. And then, like the cat sitter comes over and he's just like, oh, who's a good boy? The neighborhood he lived in Orlando, there was a feral who would just chill on the porch with him until sunset. Holy crap. Wow, for a
The,
feral cat to just hang out.
the only time I would ever get that cat on my lap is if I had some food for it.
Yeah.
I would just kind of bait it on the couch, with the food, and they'll, be on my lap just long enough to eat, and then it'll, be back on the ground. But every so often, I would just be lying on the mattress, resting or whatever, and I would just walk up and get underneath my hand, and
Piet. Piet
give
me.
me give me the little headbutt or the pet me command. Yeah,
Yep.
one of the two.
Pay the pet tax. That's what I call it when when B starts getting demanding. It's pay the pet tax. I'm like, that is a tax I am happy to pay. Hang on. Our cat sitter is much the same. The neighborhood he lived in, Orlando, there was a feral who would chill on the porch until sunset. Um, Eventually she would come to him for a small pet, so when they moved her our direction, he asked her in the neighborhood if she belonged to anyone, or if he could trap her and take her, and they all went, you mean the Hellcat? The screaming demon? The claw beast who chases children and mauls their ankles for fun? Yes, take her. Oh my god. JC Streams says, how's it going, Ian? Hi, JC Streams.
Hey, yeah, that's my pal Jeremy. He has a very active Twitch channel, much like yours.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Let's see. I believe he's also a fan of the Ace Attorney game. So if you want to chat him up with that anytime, you sure can.
Oh, bro, JC, my best friend and I are going through Ace Attorney right now, just voice acting everything for like the 10 millionth time.
Good to see you, Jeremy. Jeremy and I actually met through Corey Marshall's Zoom chat with fans. Remember me telling you about that?
Yes.
Long ago? Okay. Yeah, we both had to be in the same Zoom room, and then a little while later, I noticed that he was actually streaming the games on his channel, so I watched him do his playthrough. And I actually recently he recently picked up the strategy guides, the pre-made guide, like the one I showed you before, which actually shows you how to find and experience everything there is in the game. Which even if you're familiar with it, there's so much more that you can discover and experience. Let's see. So yeah, we got that in common, and yeah, Jeremy streams like a lot of different stuff on his channel. So yeah, give him a follow, guys, if you're looking for somebody else to watch sometimes.
Okay, so we're both variety streamers. Awesome. And he's an Ace Attorney fan, so A+ in my book.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep. Katie and I are going through all 10 games. Yeah, I will give you a follow, my dude. Actually, I'm about to fall off the boat. I can see my character just... Oh, thank you for the follow, dude. Thank you for the follow, Jeremy. Yeah, we'll be resuming Justice for All on Thursday. We're on Farewell My Turnabout. So if
Danny and her friend Katie have been narrating the entire.
We've been voice acting it.
Yeah, even better. Like voice acting them in characters and everything. It's pretty impressive. So how far are you in the series now?
We're on the second game, on the last case of the second game, and then I take a break for a little bit in between each game. Like I'll play like a game for like a week, maybe two, and then we'll get back to it. So it's gonna take us pretty much all year because we're gonna do all 10 games. We're gonna do the trilogy. We're gonna do Edgeworth's duology, including an emulation of Investigations 2, the English translation, which never made it to the States. Then we're gonna play the sequel trilogy, which I legally bought on Android, and I can play on my PC through BlueStacks. And then after we finish like the main 6 entries and Miles's duology, we're going to play The Great Ace Attorney, which just released in 2021.
Oh, so, goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Long way.
10 games, yeah.
All right. Well, still time for me to sneak in with a cameo at some point, right?
Oh, Dai Gyakuten, the ones that like take place in the past, the duology, like the last 2, they have jurors. There's actually a jury system, so there is plenty of chances for you to be a character because you could literally be a juror or 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's really awesome. Yeah, we like Katie and I have like kind of planned out a lot of the main characters. So we are going to have someone else joining us for someone else joining us for hang on, he's got 140 followers. Nice. Follow. Oh, he's got some he's an affiliate. He has subscriptions. He's been playing Shenmue 3. Let's see. His recently streamed categories are Alan Wake, Forgotten City, Doom, Metal Gear Solid 2, and Shenmue 3. Oh yeah, he's a variety streamer like I am. That's awesome. Yeah, because people are like, oh, it's so hard to be a variety streamer on Twitch. And it's like, well, yes, that may be true. Like, it's still fun. It's still more fun that way. Like my favorite Let's Player plays the same game, and like it is better to play the Twitch game like that, you know, if you want to like turn that into a career. But watches, I don't care. And I just
you're doing this for fun. You're not looking for
exactly. If I can hit affiliate and make some money off of it, you know, enough where I don't have to pay taxes, because there is like a limit to how much you make like freelance where you have to pay taxes, and where you can just keep it yourself. But like if I could do that, that'd be nice. But you know, I'm not looking to make this a job. No. Oh, hello, Katie. You're finally back. Ian's friend Jeremy is in here, and Jeremy is an Ace Attorney fan as well. So, hey. He actually just gave me a follow. Yay, I'm close to 50 followers. Yay! And I'm just checking out his channel really quick. He's a variety streamer like me. He is lurking right now.
Are you aiming for the affiliate level, or do you not really care about that?
I would like to hit affiliate, just because you can start making money off affiliate. But I'm not looking to like make a shit ton of money. Like I said, if I can just like pull in a little bit each year, where it's like, you know, I think you have to make like, oh, I forget. My mom and I looked up what it was due to my freelancing. Where you have to pay taxes on it. I think it's like if you make over 300 or 400 a year, like doing freelance or contract work, you have to report it. Other than that, they're like, no, don't. Because they're like, the government's like, we just don't want to tax you on that shit. So it's like if I can just, you know, kind of line my pockets with that would be nice. But I'm turning it into a full-time job. It's so stressful, and like playing the Twitch game, playing the YouTube game, it's not something that I want to do. So, okay, I just followed, and now I will also add friend, send friend request, friend. Friend. Here we go. So yeah, I just Katie, I just let Jeremy know that we're doing Farewell My Turnabout. Miri, are you gonna be busy on Thursday again? Because Miri just said I'm gonna miss the entire goddamn back half of JFA, and I'm so sad, because yeah, she was salivating. This was like what she was looking forward to in this game alone. Was this back half, because Miles comes back, and there's a lot of I mean, you heard the pathos last time you were listening in. You heard the yelling.
I sure did.
Yeah. You heard the distressed yelling of, I'm angry at my boyfriend. Yeah, you did too, Miri, because I sent you the timestamp. Not Sunday. Yeah, we're going Saturday though. We're going Saturday though, Miri, because it's every other day. Silly goose. Sunday was last week. Sunday was the day we missed last week because stuff came up.
What on earth happened to this boat?
This dude, the mayor just had it sitting in there for a really long ass time, I think. I guess. Or he like drove it through like a river of mud, or people came and dumped crap on it because they're angry at him, which also wouldn't surprise me.
Or he just rented it out to the wrong fraternity.
Yeah. Sick boat, dude.
Goodness. The gang buys a boat.
It's so satisfying, though.
The gang washes a boat.
I'll definitely not be able to hit Saturday. Heck, punch a villain in the face for me. Oh my gosh. It's okay. You'll be there when we do Trials and Tribulations. And that shit is hype. Disney rides getting real dirty. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Jungle Cruise ain't what it used to be.
Oh man.
I'm sure Disney crew members have to clean rides like this all the time. Oh, good.
Oh, they have to, especially with kids.
Hmm.
And then like, oh, roller coasters where people get sick. Oh, those poor people. I hope they are allowed to power wash before they sanitize.
Yeah, my manager
Whew.
here now at the local arcade. I think he said the other day that like one thing he wasn't prepared for is like all the cleaning work he has to do, cleaning up for after kids and families, and um, you walk into a Chuck E. Cheese and you immediately see all of this junk all over the floor. You know, it's just a mess all the time. But it gets that way too at the arcade unless you're really good about cleaning it, as they are.
Yeah, oh, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I didn't really grow up with any arcades within distance, but that does not surprise me. Like Chuck E. Cheese was the place to go for me. Except those animatronics were horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
Five Nights at Chucky's.
Five Nights at... I mean, that's what's inspired Five Nights at Freddy's before Scott Cawthon was like, let's just beat this dead horse. Because he was originally like, we're going to do 3. And then he was like, oh, we'll do 4. And then Katie and I were both like, but the 4th game ended up being really good. And then he was like, okay, now I'm going to take it into an alternate universe. And it made no sense and it was really dumb. So Katie and I just left the train after that. And Scott Cawthon quit like halfway through his last game, Security Breach, and like a bunch of fans finished it.
Oh, wow.
And apparently it's like a trip and a half and it's not that great because I've seen just a lot of people being like, this is weird and this is very unpolished and kind of terrible. And I'm just like, I'll just stick with the first 4 games. Thanks. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. To me, it was always weird how they started marketing it towards kids because it like, for some reason, like somehow it did turn into like this series that was aimed towards kids when it originally wasn't. It was definitely like for adults to like make you fear like the days of Chuck E. Cheese, you know, to bring back those terrible memories.
Well, they kind of,
Go
as
ahead.
kids embraced it. I see kids all the time, you know, talking about the game and wearing the shirts and all that.
Yeah, and that's the messed up thing too, is because like the plot in the original 4 was the murder of children, like by a pedophile. So it's like, whenever I saw stuff marketed towards kids, I would be like, what are you doing? And then like in like this alternate universe, it seems like Scott Cawthon embraced like the child audience kind of thing, and now they have like all of these horror games that are definitely intended to be aimed towards kids. Like Bendy and the Ink Machine took that route. There was a new horror game that seemed really promising that had like a demo come out that was called Poppy's Playtime, and the mechanics were really cool, but then my favorite Let's Player, John Wolf, was like, he's like, this definitely seems like it's heavy on the merchandising. He's like, it is a cool thing, but it definitely seems like it's really like heavy on the merchandising. And I was browsing Amazon for something that we needed, and what did I see but a Poppy's Playtime toy, not even like a week after he put that video out, and that was maybe 2 weeks after the game came out. And I was like, damn, he called that really quick. And then they got involved in something with NFTs. I haven't done the research on that, so I can't say exactly what that is, but they started pushing NFTs, and it just ended up really badly. Hello Neighbor is another one that's aimed more towards kids.
I was just about to mention that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I watched John play like a couple of demos of that, and I was just bored of it. I was like, this seems boring and dumb. And I watched like a video breakdown recently about how it just is kind of a failure of a project, and how it's definitely playing off like this kids kind of thing. Okay, let's see. Horror for kids has never been a new concept. Books and cartoons have been doing it for many years. It's just new for video games to be doing it. As an Animorphs fan, you know this. I don't know so much about the merchandising half of it though. Oh yeah, it's not that I'm like, oh, horror games for kids. It's that it's like this Five Nights at Freddy's started out as horror games as a horror game for adults, and the fact that the parents were letting their kids play this because it had cute mascots and they weren't really like seeing what it was actually about was the disturbing part to me. Like the newer Five Nights stuff is like whatever because it's definitely aimed more towards kids, but like literally the souls of murdered children are trapped in these animatronics. Like that's not something that you market to kids. And there's even a scene in 3 where even though it's in Atari pixels, it's still pretty graphic. Like you see this guy who's killed all these kids and he's freaked out because there's a spirit that's chasing him, and he's freaked out and he runs into a room and he hides into an animatronic that you could actually fit into, and he starts laughing and the thing malfunctions and snaps shut, and all of the wires and everything just eviscerate him from the inside out, and all this blood sprays out of like this pixel rabbit costume, and there's just blood everywhere and it's twitching in a really grotesque way. And even as pixel graphics, it's really messed up. And like in 3, they also like on the start screen, they would show the animatronic Springtrap, and you could see flashes of him without, and you could see a human skull inside of it. And that is really my problem, is that parents looked at that and went, yeah, this is okay for my kid to play. Like, it was a literal human skull, like a rendered human skull. It was messed up. It was like, that was not something that was supposed to be aimed more towards kids. So, like, that's what disturbs me. It's like Sister Location, like the one that came after 4, like the alternate universe thing, is definitely something where they're, like, it's still disturbing, but it's definitely aimed more towards kids. So, I mean, that I don't really care about. And they just tried to go, like, deepest lore with it forever. But, like, the first 4 games I'll stand by, and I'm like, I don't think kids should be playing these. Because it's pretty messed up. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of things kids should be playing. They do anyway.
Yeah, GTA 5. I remember Katie and I dealt with that nightmare when it came out. I actually had to defend GTA 5 from some guy who was like, Bill Gates should be ashamed of himself peddling this to little kids. And I'm like, he's not.
No one does.
I was like, he's not, though. There's a reason we're not letting people buy this. Like, if a parent was there to buy it for their kid, we would warn them about the torture minigame and everything. And 9 times out of 10, the parent would look at their, like, well, no, it was about 50-50, honestly. The parent would look at their kid and go, like, we didn't know that, thank you. Or they would be like, oh, well, they're mature for their age. And we're like, that's not what that is. It's not a matter of maturity, it's the matter of there is literally a torture minigame in here.
Yeah, I would, if I see a parent buy the game for their kid, I would just simply ask them, are you guys familiar with this franchise? And, they'll usually say yes or no. And if they say no, I'll just say, okay, well, just so you know, this game is not made for kids. It's made for an adult audience, for adult players. And I won't go into any more detail unless they ask me about it. And usually they'll know right away if they're cool with it or not.
Oh, well, we had to warn parents about it. Like, it was literally a policy.
Yeah, and I understand that too. It's very understandable.
Because we could get in so much trouble for selling it, to a kid who's with a parent who, and that's stupid because it's not the game store's fault. It's the parent's fault for not looking into what their kid is doing. It's like, don't expect a video game to babysit your child. Don't expect TV to babysit your child. Don't expect media to babysit your child. Take an interest in what your child is doing, please.
And to go even further on that, I never really understood why, if you buy a game, you don't like it, it happens.
Yeah.
Why would you ask for a refund from the store who sold it to you? It's like, it's not their fault. Like, they did their job. They sold you the game you decided to buy that day. Contact the publisher. It's the same thing as, like, why would you ask a movie theater to give you a refund for a movie that you saw? They did their job. They showed you the movie you paid to see. If you don't like it, tell the studio who made the movie. Try to get a refund from them. And of course they don't, because they know it's very unlikely that they'll get a refund. But I'm talking like in terms of, principle and logic. Uh, it just bothers me when, people would rather try to get their money back from a business whose, money means a lot to them instead of a big company that, supposedly is responsible for you not enjoying your experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's the instant gratification of wanting your money back as quickly as
Uh-huh.
possible. It's not wanting to jump through hoops to yell
Yeah.
at a faceless corporation who will not listen to you.
Yeah, I would that, and that's why I would never ask for my money back, from a place who's when it's not their fault. If they give me like the wrong game or something, that makes sense. That was their fault.
Yeah.
Um, but if you don't like the game just because it didn't appeal to you, or whatever, it's like it's not their fault. It, if you don't like a game because it has like it's lousy with glitches or something, then think about that before you buy the next game from that publisher. But don't punish the middleman. That just makes no sense.
Yeah, or just sell the game. Like, I know you're not getting your whole money back, but like, dang, dude. I mean, if you don't like it, you can still sell it used for a pretty high
Yeah,
price. You can make most of
that's
that money back.
that's one of many reasons why I still prefer to buy physical media. You have that option.
Yeah,
You, know,
I
you
mean,
have that option to sell it back.
yeah.
How it goes.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with digital, they give you like on Steam, say, oh yeah, the cat prints on top of the boat. Yeah, that's because this is the mayor's boat, and his cat Ulysses walks all over it.
I was
Um,
wondering about that. I thought I was
yeah.
I thought I was imagining that for a
Nope,
second.
the mayor is the one with the kitty cat. Let's see. I raised these as Coraline. Neil Gaiman's publisher didn't want to publish. They thought it was too scary. So the publisher gave it to her daughter to read. Her daughter said she wasn't scared and that's why it was published. But later, when she was an adult, she admitted she was horrified at every inch of it. She just didn't want to admit it to her mother. Oh, God. And that's interesting because it's a really good movie, like, that was aimed for families. That's really interesting.
Oh yeah, Coraline's a great film. If
Mm-hmm.
anybody listening has not seen it, I definitely recommend adding that to your Halloween movie list this year.
Yeah, that's what I showed it to Katie for the first time last year. Um, but what are your feelings, Mary? Because I mean, I grew up consuming adult media as well. So I mean, like, I think we all did, but like, I don't know. I feel like there's a difference between like letting your kids like no like knowing that your kids. Oh, the book is way more horrifying and graphic. It is. I've read it. Um, the Book of Coraline, I mean. But like, there's a difference between like knowing what your kids are into. Like, my dad knew I was into like more adult themes. Like I was growing up with things that were more adult themed, and he was okay with it. And he essentially just treated it like I was reading like a manga that was like that played, like the peeping Tom angle that was like, Baka, you walked in on me taking a bath, ooh woo woo, like that kind of crap. And he saw me reading it and he asked for it and I gave it over and he was like, all right, do you have any questions? And I was like, not really. And he was like, okay, if you have any questions, just ask. Like that was just his thing. Like he saw I was reading it. He made sure I was okay reading it. And he was just like, okay, if you have any questions, just ask. He wasn't like, you can't read this. You know? So, I mean, but he at least did his job as a parent. And looked at it and took an active interest in what I was doing.
That's what you gotta do.
Yep. I don't know. I read The Stand when I was in middle school, and it's extremely explicit about its grotesque plague death. I don't think kids are tiny angels who need to be protected from seeing horrifying stuff ever. I agree with that. I agree that kids are not tiny angels and, like, you can't shelter them, but I think there are some things that should not be marketed towards kids. Like,
Yeah.
you should not merchandise towards kids. Like, if kids get their hands on Five Nights at Freddy's, for example, like, because that's what started all this, and you're a parent and you look into the game and you see what they're playing and it's like, all right, they're not really going to understand this until they're older. It's fine. That's one thing, but like to be selling like little plushes and t-shirts and stuff like that is another, because it's like, buy my stuff, buy the game, do the thing. Like it's actively encouraging kind of this mindset, and parents nowadays, especially having worked in gaming retail, are very happy to let their kids be babysat by media instead of taking an interest in what their kids want to do or like to do. As long as the parents know what it is and help the kids understand the fictional world from the real. Yeah, and that is the main thing. I agree with you 100%, Miri. But the parents have to know.
Yeah, the important thing is making sure kids are intelligent enough to understand the differences between fantasy and reality when it counts.
Yep.
It's like how my parents didn't often like. They weren't permissive to let me watch like any R-rated movie, but occasionally they would, just for the sake of broadening my horizons, and so it's like most things, it's okay in moderation if you want to broaden your kids' horizons to certain art or something that happens to be dark or violent or things like that, but just be smart about it, which Katie's pointing out. Most parents are not that smart.
Oh Lord, no, they are not. Again, back to the GTA 5 thing. Like, it was it was a coin toss. It was the parents would either they just wouldn't care, or like they were just like, oh no, it's fine, and we'd be like, all right, and we'd sell the parents the game, knowing full well they were going to give it to their kids, and we didn't like it, but I mean, wasn't our place to make that call. Or the parents were like, no, we did not know. Thank you for telling us. And like they would get really angry at the kid. And it's like because the kid tried to get one past them.
Yeah. George Carlin said it best. Some parents deserve respect. Most of them don't.
Oh God, I miss George Carlin. Yes, 100%. It is unfortunate, but I mean, you work in any kind of media retail, and you see blatant disregard from parents everywhere.
You got that right.
Everywhere.
Bad but true. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, it is one thing if a kid lies, and like with Coraline, like there was no real way to prove it unless the mom also hang on, let me see here. There we go. Let's see. Let me scroll back up. Didn't want to publish, gave it to her. Okay, yeah, so the publisher did read it, yeah, and she thought it was fine. So yeah, even the publisher was like, I think this is too scary, and the daughter straight up lied. I mean, there was nothing the publisher could have done about that, honestly, at that point. With Coraline. Why is it telling me my own chat rules? You stop that, chat. Twitch, you don't rule me. This is my chat. How dare you?
Twitch always rules over us.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That's true. We can't say certain things on this which are really dumb. Or like, what was it? I'm not a fan of the game, but again, John Wolfe plays a lot of Dead by Daylight, and one of the killers is literally I can chat ban you. Yeah, I know you can chat ban me. Don't you actually dare? I know where you sleep.
Banned from your own. That's incredible.
Yeah, banned from just talking in my chatting in my own stream. But yeah, she could definitely do it. But like he played like, so a killer in Dead by Daylight is Pinhead. Like from the Hellraiser movies. Twitch will literally not let you put that in the description because they think it's an insult. And it's like,
wow.
Yeah, it's like they choose to be really stingy about really certain things. Like, you can't say the word simple without the LE. But you can say stan. You can say that you are a stan of something, but you can't say that you are a simple of something. Otherwise, Twitch brings down the ban hammer. And stan has really dark negative connotations if you don't know the history behind that word.
Are you trying to cast a speck of dirt on this boat here?
It's 99% clean, dude. I'm trying to find the one thing where it's like...
It seemed like you got like every inch of this thing, but I don't know.
No, like, look, see, it tells me like what is clean and what isn't, like how much percentage.
There's always something. Does it at least tell you the area that you need to do?
Yeah, it's supposed to like glow, but I'm like,
Like a control panel.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the damn control? Oh, yeah, it's right there. See how it was glowing? There we go. Control panel cleared. Steering wheel clear. Yeah, steering wheel was one of them. But yeah, do you know the origins of the word stan, Ian?
I don't think I do.
Okay, Katie can correct me in all the places I am wrong because she knows this far better than I do. But it is an Eminem song about a dude named Stan.
Oh, I do know the song. Okay.
Yeah, it's about the song Stan, where the guy is such a big fan, and he ends up like he's like a crazy fan, and he ends up killing himself, like committing suicide, because he's just such a crazy fan, and his letters are never responded to, and that kind of stuff. And people have now turned that into like a word to be like, I'm a really big fan of this. I am a stan, and his girlfriend, yeah, he kills himself and his girlfriend. And it's like, as someone who is a big Eminem fan, I like, and he's trying to like, as M usually does, he's trying to express a message through kind of like shock, but also truth. I mean, this kind of stuff has happened. You can find these cases. And that's like the horrifying thing, is like these people are out there. And yes, while they are a minority, it is something that happens, and it is something he is trying to bring people's attention to. So the fact that like a large majority of people now use that word is, I mean, like they can be free to use said word 100%, but like some people are just like are like, yeah, I know the meaning of it, I don't care, I'm gonna do it anyway. And it's just like, you can do that if you want, but like it makes me uncomfortable because I know what Eminem is trying to say with the message, and so I just personally don't use it. That's just me.
It sounds like they're kind of missing the point by calling themselves a stan.
Yeah. It's become such like a part of like culture though. Yeah, Katie's saying words do change meaning over time. It doesn't sit with me. Yeah, and I did use it for a while. I like, yeah, I'm not free of that guilt. Like, or I like, I'm not free of being like, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm not taking the stance of like, I never used the word stan. Katie was like, you do know where that came from, right? And I'm like, no, not really. And Katie told me, and then I was like, I am uncomfortable now. I'm uncomfortable using it now. If people want to use it, I mean, and it's right. I mean, like the word gay went from happy to homosexual. Like the connotation of that word changed drastically over time. And it was used as an insult. For a while, you know, like there's a Fall Out Boy song that is literally titled "Gay is not a synonym for stupid," because it was for a while. Like, oh, that's gay, you know, like. So I mean, words definitely do have meaning and change over time. But it makes certain people uncomfortable. So like Katie and I just choose not to say it. That doesn't mean like it's a bad thing if people do say it. But I also agree with you. It depends on like the people and like the topic, and that's not something I'm going to
At least read the room a bit before you use it.
I mean, if somebody calls themselves a stand in front of me, I'm not going to be like, actually, yeah. Yeah, no. Miri pointed out there are lots of people who are still uncomfortable with the word queer, and I use that one all the time. Yeah, queer just means like bizarre, or, you know, like especially with the time period, you know, like Katie, Miri, and I have all written in like time periods where they use queer as weird, because that's what it used to be. Like, oh, that's very queer. That's a queer thing to happen, and now it's more synonymous with being homosexual, and people take that as an insult instead. And it's like, no, the word just changed meaning. I'm uncomfortable with bad word and bad word. Words I cannot say, and some people use those as their definition of choice. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yes, I agree with that 100%. My point is that Twitch doesn't have their priority correct when it comes to words. They're censoring pinhead and simple without the LE, but they're like, yeah, stands fine. And I'm like, Twitch, if you're going to censor pinhead, well, you might want to look at the word stan first.
well, stan is also a name. You can't really ban a name.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's probably the only reason they get away with it, honestly. Yeah, because Stan came from the name of the person who did that in the Eminem song. That's a really good song, as disturbing as it is. Those are usually the songs that are the best ones.
Otherwise, some guy named Stan who wants to be a Twitch streamer, he'll be he's host.
he'll be banned. I mean, the same thing that happens to people on YouTube will, and happens to people on YouTube and Twitch will happen to him. Whoops. Plenty of tiny creators on YouTube, just get their channels taken down for no reason, or for dumb reason because their bots are doing stuff, and big name creators, I'm not going to name names, I'll name them after the chat, but like some have like faked their own death, faked their girlfriend's death and stuff like that for views.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Pretended to talk to them through Ouija boards. They pretend to talk through celebrities through Ouija board. Yeah, actually.
That is bizarre. Wow.
Yeah, a content creator Katie and I really like, who does a lot of true crime stuff, he legally changed his last name because it was spelled D-Y-K-E. And that was just legally his last name. That wasn't like a joke. That was his family name. And it was causing him to get flagged by the YouTube system, by the YouTube bots.
Yeah, I believe it.
But it's like, that wasn't, he was reporting on like true crime and stuff, so he legally changed his last name to Gabbing, because it was, I think, still in his family, and it held a lot of importance to him. And he's like, and if I want to expand my brand, it is better. It's going to stop me from getting flagged by the YouTube, by YouTube bots and everything. But yeah, like that was honestly just his God-given name. So yeah, his last name used to be D-Y-K-E, and now he changed it to Gavigan. And yeah, it's wild. Like, that was honestly just his God-given name. Because he would be like, haha, yeah, I know, I get the joke. Like, he's like, yeah, I know the joke of my name, you guys. Like, haha.
On another topic, a while back I noticed that Miri mentioned wanting to take this whole Twitch chat to Disney World at some point in the future. I am. I'll just say that I am totally on board with that when the time is right.
Same.
And I would also like to take it a step further and say, as soon as Super Nintendo World opens at Universal, we are definitely going to check that out.
Raw, hell yeah, we are.
We need to include that on our journey at some point.
That is a bucket list thing for sure. Super Nintendo World, I am stoked.
Yeah, and I don't think it's very far from this point. Last I checked, I think they're aiming for like a 2023-24 opening date.
Yeah, there was an update on it recently. Katie, that means you need to sit and play Mario World with me. I hope you realize that. Katie.
Do it, Katie.
Katie, I'm like determined to inundate her into the Mario games, like the classic Mario ones, because that's the crap I grew up on.
Yeah. Katie, Sega person here, it's worth it. Trust me.
Hey, ringing endorsement from Ian. Thank you, Ian, especially with that "oh boy" from Katie. Oh boy, little sassafras, sassy. She's got the toot. Okay, we're almost done. See, 96, 96, 96, 99, 98. Oh my God, come on. This isn't even the worst, I promise you. That fucking Ferris wheel was my biggest nightmare. Like I said, it literally just took 5 hours. Okay, what window frames are glowing? Oh God. Hansel and Gretel are in this game too. It's really funny. Except they're not Hansel and Gretel as you know him. They're actually bank robbers.
Oh, wow.
This game is so bizarre.
Yeah.
I love it. Last time I tried playing Mario, I was sick and it was floaty. Yeah, I know. That's because you were playing it and you were playing Mario All-Stars on the Wii. And those controls are very floaty. Look, I'll take you through Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World. Because those are like the two must-play. A lot of people would argue 2, and 2 is very good. But the two I know the best are 3 and World. Ah, they're over here. I was like, where are those damn window frames? Well, yeah, but Katie, trust me. Trust me.
A good Mario game that doesn't really get as much love as most others is Yoshi's Island. Amanda was a huge fan of that game.
Oh, that's a great game. Yoshi's Island?
Oh yeah, she would play that for hours on end.
Yeah, the sequel for the 3DS was fantastic.
Okay.
It was like Yoshi's Island 2 or something like that. It was incredible. I bought that on release day and I was just like excited as hell. I played the crap out of that. Oh yeah, that's true. You did play Mario 3 with your neighbor. I do remember you telling me about that because that was a very wholesome story. Okay, the propeller. Really? All the way down here? I didn't get the dirt off of this? This mother? But yeah, Mario World is pretty much what I grew up on, and Mario 3. I grew up playing those two, although we did have all of them.
It could be argued that Mario 3 and Mario World are like have the best that the series has to offer.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, by all means, it's not. It doesn't end there at all. There, but it's probably where it hit its peak, and it's like influenced every game since then.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like Mario 64, and I'm like, it's an interesting game. It's not a bad game, but like I don't love Mario 64 like most people love Mario 64. They're like, oh my god, Mario 64. I'm like, it's a really fun game. Don't get me wrong. Definitely buy the thing on the Switch that has the 64 that has 64 Sunshine and the first Galaxy in it. Like, definitely do that. That is fantastic. Mario Sunshine is one of my favorites, actually. I love Sunshine because they did something really fun and creative. Although the first Galaxy is also excellent.
For an experimental game, Nintendo hit it out of the park with Mario 64. I feel. It might be a hard one to revisit nowadays because it's a bit rougher compared to later, Mario 3D offerings. But with what they're able to do with the character, with that new technology, and make it as engaging as all the games before it, Nintendo deserves a ton of credit for what they were able to do with that title and to help launch the 64 system like that.
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah, it's definitely worth playing. I agree with that, like 100%. I'm just not like I just don't think it's like the be all end all of Mario. Ah, there we go. Good lord, I was like, where do I find the dirt on a dark window?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I don't feel like any Mario is the be all end all of Mario because the series as a whole just has so much to offer everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's some pretty crappy ones like the educational Mario games. Oh boy.
Even that kind of had its place, Like, those kind of games weren't really made for a wide audience anyway. It was just kind of a way to offer something different for a certain crowd. But my fourth grade class actually had access to a Mario Teaches typing game on the classroom computer, and that's it's such a nice head start in typing skills than I was able to do later in life.
I had Mavis Beacon 9. And then I got grounded from doing anything but educational games. So that's how I got really good at typing, was I played the crap out of Mavis Beacon 9 because it was technically an educational game. So on my home PC, I just played Mavis Beacon 9 all the time because I was grounded from I was a little shit when I was a kid, so I got grounded a lot, and I was grounded from playing anything like that wasn't educational. So Mavis Beacon 9 it was, and that is why I can type at like 95 to 100 words per minute. No joke.
Yeah. My last trip to Universal in Florida was tons of fun. It was a few years ago, and I can't wait to see what they offer for the Nintendo expansion. There's going to be a lot more where that came from too. Like they purchased a lot of square acres of land to basically build like another expansion that's like the size of Islands of Adventure, if not bigger.
Wow.
It's going to be something.
Yeah.
I'm not a shill for Universal or anything. I don't work for Comcast NBC. Don't worry. I'm just an excited fanboy. That's all.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, fuck. I want to go to Disney for sure. I haven't been since my senior year in high school. That's expensive though. It's so expensive.
Yeah, I know some folks who are Disney super fans, and he used to take like annual trips to the Disney parks, and now they only do it like 2 or 3 times a year. which doesn't sound like a huge sacrifice. But for them it was, and then when I heard that, that's when I realized that the price ranges are no longer as friendly as they used to be.
Yeah. I knew somebody in high school where it's like he and his family essentially had to go like 6 or 7 times a year to like keep their status, like because they had like a special like Disney kind of status, and like he knew like pretty much every actor. And he actually ended up working with them. It was his dream to work with them, and he worked with them for years.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah, like doing photography and stuff like that. But yeah, like his family was like, "Oh no, you need like they needed to go like 6 or 7 times a year. It was ridiculous. Otherwise, they would lose their status." I mean, we're also friends with somebody who goes with his wife at least once a year. Mikey, we used to work when we worked with him. He and his wife go at least once a year.
Oh really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. On Facebook, yeah, they're posting.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. That they went that often. Okay.
Oh yeah, they go at least once a year, I think. Yeah, he and his wife go at least once a year. Pretty sure.
Yeah, my friend Rob, he also did the. He was one of those Disney super fans I was telling you about, and he also did the, that popular internship program or whatever.
That's the one I met at the tavern, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe you had met him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe it or not, he said that he actually seated Billy D. Williams at the Star Tours attraction.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And of course he was geeking out, but all he did was like he looked at him and nodded, and Billy D looked at him and nodded back, as if to say, like, "Hey, I know who you are." And it's like, "Yeah, I know you know who I am." And that was about it.
I mean, good call, because like stars really don't want people freaking out on them. Like, "Oh my God, can I shake your hand? I want to touch your face." They just appreciate like those kind of nods. They're like, "Oh, thank you for letting me enjoy my vacation and my time in peace."
Yeah, exactly. It was satisfying to them both, I think.
Yeah, that's also just really wholesome. Yeah, I think that's great.
That was an easy highlight of this time.
Oh, 100%. So we have actually run over time. I'm surprised Katie has not been like, Danny, time. She's usually pretty good about that. Thank you. Thank you for always looking out for the time, Katie. I'm just giving you shit. But yeah, we've actually hit 8 o'clock. So see, we just Danny time.
How about that?
Danny, time. Yeah, see now she's doing it just to be a shithead.
Yeah.
I love you, Katie.
All right, let's let Katie out of the closet. I'll unlock the door.
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on, Katie, I'm coming.
Yeah. We'll free her from her prison. Hat in time. Very nice, Miri. Thank you for the pun and the game that I still need to play. One of my many backlogs. God, I was going to ask you about like shit that you've been playing, shit that you haven't played yet. So we didn't even get to that. So, I mean, it's pretty easy just to shoot the shit for a couple hours.
I guess it is. Wow.
No, I'm comfy. Leave me. She wants to stay where we've locked her. Okay, you can go nap in there. I mean, she pretty much is a cat. Oh, yeah. Miri. Oh, darn. I guess he'll have to come back. What a travesty. Right. We're all...
Right, Katie, just text us. Text us if you want some water or something.
Yeah, text us if you want some Wawa food. Miri. What a travesty. We're all so disappointed. Look at how disappointed we are. No, I agree. Just means whatever you're free on a Tuesday. Even if I'm doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday stream that week, just let me know, and I'll fire this up on Tuesday, because it's easy. Because I'm willing to work around your schedule.
Are you talking to you or somebody else?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got a crazy schedule, so it's, whenever I can get you on a Tuesday, I would love to.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'd love to join in, too. This was a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, it's just shooting the shit about, like, whatever we feel like talking about. And I was like, oh, one of the things I can ask him is what he's been playing or what he's been meaning to play and blah, blah, blah. And we just never got around to it, so.
All right. Well,
Yay!
I'll save those stories for next time then.
Yes. So, for everyone watching and in stream, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you again to JC Streams for the follow. I've given him a follow back. Like Ian said, go check him out. He's definitely been playing a good variety of games. He's going through Shenmue 3 right now. And
Which you need to experience for yourself very soon. I might add.
I know. I still need to play through Shenmue 1, dude. I'm so bad. It's in my backlog. Oh my god. So a streamer that really quickly, a streamer that Katie and I like, I know I've talked to him about you before. Joel, he's Swedish. Taught himself English. I know he was so upset with the ending of 3 that Rio doesn't like actually kill the guy, but like the place starts burning down, so they all get out. And he starts freaking out and screaming. I just saw it in like a highlights clip like that he did of like best of like 2020 or something like that. Best of 2019, best of 2020. I don't know like the actual context. I just saw like that scene because he was like, no, what are you doing? No, get back in there. Get back in there and kill him. And like, so he gets like he makes like a PNG of like Rio on like a motorcycle, like coming in as the boat's burning and like smashing the dude in the face. He's like, this is what should actually happen. And he's doing like all of his own sound effects. And he's like, meow. And I'm just sitting there like, Ian's gotta see this. I'll see if I can find that clip and send it to you because he's like freaking out. He's so upset.
Yes, please send me.
Oh my god. It's so funny. I'll send it to you with the timestamp.
Yeah. I do not share his frustration, but I love like watching fan stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it made me laugh so hard because his reactions are always authentic. So he was not playing that up. He was just so disappointed that Rio didn't actually go and commit murder. And I was just like, is it Rio or Ryu? Am I fucking up everywhere?
It's Ryu.
Okay, shit, Ryu. God damn it. I played like 3 hours of Shenmue.
Actually, it's. I think either way is fine. Like the characters call him Rio, and I think Rio is supposed to be like the Street Fighter character. I think.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard both pronunciations so often that I think either way is fine.
How's it spelled? Oh, and here's Miri with her Japanese knowledge. Miri is actually very knowledgeable in Japanese. Let's see.
RYO.
Yeah, RYO is Rio, because RYU would be Ryu. Yeah, Rio. Okay, so I did have it right. Perfect. I was like, I don't think it's Ryu. Yep, yeah, okay, sweet. I had it right. Yes. But
Ryo Hazuki, he's my video game spirit character.
Yes, yeah, you love Shenmue. That was how we bonded. Like, was us talking about the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter, and you and I started jumping up and down, and my supervisor on time, Justin, looked at me and he goes, I've never seen Ian do that. What did you do to him? And I was like, just talking about Shenmue 3, dude. It was like my first day there, too. Working with you. That was great.
Yeah. Well, now you know it doesn't take much to get me excited. Just mention it. Just bring up anything Shenmue related. There you go. Jeremy knows that too.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Because it is an amazing series. But yes. So thank you for being here, Ian. And I'm glad that you would like to come back. That makes me happy.
My pleasure. Thank you so much again.
So for real this time, thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out JC Streams, JCSTREEMS, on Twitch. And go check him out. He's got a solid variety lineup. And yeah, until 2 weeks from today, I will see you guys next time.